are living in a rapidly changing world in which so many things seem to change and pass without being noticed. April 1994 marked a very important turning point in the lives of many Kenyans because they think that they are now liberated. Yes, politically they are liberated, but that's not enough because most people are not at peace with themselves, and this might be the reason why our country is unstable. How can one be at peace with oneself if one is bombarded with conflict ideas? Our country still needs cultural liberation. From the one country to the other, Christianity and Western culture have been eroding African culture to such an extent that most Africans today find themselves on the horns of a dilemma. Ever since the arrival of the missionaries and their contact with Black Africa, most blacks have tended to believe that everything said and practiced by Christians is perfect and unconditional acceptable. This inadequately adjusted way of thinking has done and is still doing irreparable damage to African culture. It seems befitting at this point to mention briefly the beliefs and behavior of an Africa. The missionaries found the native people living peaceably in their communities, literally naked or semi-naked and completely unashamed, just as they had always lived. It sounds a little bit like the Garden of Eden, now that I think about it, but the missionaries didn't see it that way. No, they preached the gospel to the African tribes, telling the people that Jesus loves them, and then, seemingly in the next breath, saying, "Now put some clothes on for God's sake." Before European contact with Africa, human sexuality was highly valued, and Africa had a well-organized and consistent socialization process where the elder members of society initiated young members of the society into the concept and the acts of human sexuality without shame, ridicule, or condemnation. The rising anti-LGBTQ sentiment emerging in countries like Uganda and Kenya hasn't come out of nowhere. As Western missionaries gradually Christianized these countries, the apparent need to legislate against sexual minorities has also come to the fore. And it's absolutely no coincidence. They are the rainbow refugees, and they're running from Christian hate preachers, their own families who have turned against them, the culture that has been indoctrinated by Western conservatism, and the government that now declares they have no right to even exist. Beautiful people, do you think Christianity and Western culture have been eroding African culture to such an extent that most Africans today find themselves on the horns of a dilemma? Let me know on the comment section below.